And we are live, guys. Hi, and welcome to Get Your Reviews. And this hangout with me are Kevin and his lovely wife Mel from the channel Kevin's Point of View. And we're about to talk about dating and relationships and how social media affects that. So, guys, because this is your topic, if you have any starting thoughts.
Yeah, okay. Well, what I would like to start with is the one thing that really irritates me. I don't know if you noticed this in your country or not, but here in the United States, especially where we live at, when you go out to eat and you go out to eat nicely, you take your wife, your girlfriend out to a nice meal. Every time me and Mel have went out, we've always seen people on their cell phones, couples on their cell phones, not having no conversation whatsoever, and all they're doing is just basically texting here, and we're both looking around going, where's the connection between a man and a woman?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I was at work yesterday, I was actually discussing this very same topic with not a coworker of mine, but somebody that works at the same place that I do, and she was telling me that, you know, just the other day she had gone out to like dinner or lunch or something with a friend of hers, and it just rattles her chains because she saw a family, 2 kids, couldn't have been any older than maybe 12, 13 years old, you know, just sitting, you know, literally just dug their faces in their phones. And the parents were even in their phones at this restaurant that they went to. And he's like, where's the connection with that? I mean, it just bothered her because she's like, why does this stuff happen? You know, why do people feel that, you know, if you're in your phone, that's where it's at now? So
My question to any audience members, and you can chime in on this too, are you in a relationship, or are you in a relationship with your phone?
Yeah.
That's the biggest question there. I mean, is your iPhone your girlfriend, or is your woman your girlfriend?
a lot of people just think that their phones is all that exists in this world.
Yeah.
Like if the whole world blew up and they just had their phone in their hands, they'd be happy. It's sad, really.
Oh, it's very sad. Well, I'm, I addicted to my phone in a sense because I have to check everything, what the heck is going on. But other than that, of course, that I will leave it when I'm with friends or anything like that, or with of course, my significant other. So, yeah, that is very. I mean, that was an issue when I was growing up as well, because that was, kind of recent, relatively, and even then, when the phones weren't all that awesome and all that smart, some people were already on them like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just become the norm, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask, since since I have both ladies in here, I can ask them this question from a woman's point of view. Do you think when you have guys out there, especially guys in the YouTube world, and I know you know plenty of them, Gary,
Mm-hmm.
you know plenty of them, do you, they always put on this facade from who they really are and who they are on there. And I noticed one in particular. I'm not gonna name his name because I said I wouldn't. But he comes on there acting like that he is the hottest shit in the world, and yet he always does videos complaining about women.
Oh, I'm just going to say, do you mean somebody with the first letter S?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think we've seen any videos of this. I don't think he's done anything in a while. I don't even think he's been online in a while. I mean, really.
But I mean, like, but what I want to know from both of you is, for guys like that who are struggling and who haven't found a woman, or haven't found the right woman in their eyes, what does a man need to do to attract a good woman? What does he got to do to attract a woman?
Why don't you go first? Yeah.
Well, it's very difficult, really, because it depends first on the woman's taste. sometimes visuals does count, and they speak of a person's respect for themselves, and that's the first thing that will make an impression, of course, because it's the visual thing. The second thing, of course, is behavior, a manner of doing things, approach, a manner of speaking. So he has to have a way of speaking, but in the same time being himself, because if he's not himself, if he's pretending to be something else just to impress a girl or a woman, this is not going to last. He's not doing it for the right reasons, so to speak. So if you want, let's say, a serious relationship, I mean, everybody, and the girl and the man, the woman and the man, they have to be themselves. And for the particular guy that we are talking about, he just, yeah, have to be himself, but to have this respect in the back of his mind, to never forget that, and to not act like a big shot or something, because all women that are, good women, quality women, they don't like that. They just prefer to see a real person in front of their eyes before they actually see a man. So first we are all, human, and then we are our sexes and genders and all of that. So yeah, be yourself, but don't be a douche.
Well, my response is it's easy to put on a facade online, especially when the camera is turned on but you can't see who you're talking to. It's easy to put on a facade online than it is to do it in the real world anymore, because the real world is scarier than the internet is, obviously. Actually, that's not true, because the internet can be a very scary place, especially if you don't know who the hell you're talking to. But for somebody who's got a lot of depression issues, or somebody who's got like a lot of insecurities and things like that, man or woman, either way, and you go online and you're trying to find, you're putting on this big facade because you just have all these insecurities, that's not really healthy. It's not healthy at all, in fact, because you're not being who you really are to the person that you're talking to. And that's the problem with social media. As we were discussing earlier, before we started the show, social media does have a lot of impact on relationships, period, because people tend to put on a show online versus in the real world. Like, the person that you might be talking to might be so charming and so sweet and this and that, and then in the real world, when you finally meet that person, if you do meet that person, it's a completely different ballpark. So in my opinion, people like S, who go on a show and start bashing women because they, he has a different,
catfish,
whatever.
Yeah.
They have a different outlook on how they think that women should be. You're not going to get very far in your relationship, or you're not going to get far finding a woman to, complete you as a person and so forth, if you even need that in the first place. There's a lot of very independent people in this world as well. And the independence of people can, overshadow those who aren't as independent and rely more on trying to find somebody to fill the void of, being lonely and so forth. So my personal opinion is, be yourself, both on screen and off.
Oh yeah, of course.
Don't put on one show for, somebody and then be completely different on the outside, because that's how I am. I mean, I'm who I am both online and in the real world. I will give my opinion to people who ask for it. I will give my advice to those who ask for it. But when you go on a man bashing or woman bashing spree, I get annoyed by that, because you're like, if you're that way online, but you're not that way in the real world, that just shows the kind of person that you really are. So that's
yeah. No, it's, you're totally right. And I'm always me, no matter where I am. I can't lie to myself, so to speak. And even, when I'm, like I said, back from work and all of that, and I'm tired, and I'm going to sit here, like that on the chair. I'm going to, put a little bit of energy in me, but that doesn't mean that that's not me. That's still me. It's just an ability that I can do. But I'm the same personality, and that's why I'm always saying what I'm thinking. That's why I'm getting, in some trouble in the comments, even for the simplest, the most simple things, like an opinion, just a thought, like for some movie or anything else, and they're like totally going crazy. But I have to say what I think, so I can even say that the sky is blue, and they can still be mad. So
this is very true.
You're. I know you. I know you wanted us to tell you this, but your mic was kind of cracking.
Really?
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine now.
It's fine now. But yeah, I've dealt with that too. Like, doing YouTube videos, I've had videos posted for like months, and all of a sudden they come out of nowhere and go, "You suck. You're wrong," and I'm like, "What's the point?"
Yeah, there seems to be an increase in trolls online. Like, it's gotten unbearable to where people really do take it out of context, and I look at it like it really is just words online trying not to feed into it, but people do, and they really, get butthurt over a lot of things on the internet. So,
everything, like everything on the internet.
Yeah.
Here's my advice. Here's my advice to women about my sex. If you have a guy and he's charming at first, and then you start dating him, you get in there for about maybe a couple of months, maybe. Then what I tell people is, when you go on a first date, you're not going on a date with them. You're going on a date with their representative. You both are trying to fill each other out. You're trying to see what's there, what's not. But I do, and I know I'm probably going to get some slack from men on this, but you guys are the smarter sex. That's
notorious. We are the smarter sex, because we take on a lot, as women and all that kind of stuff in the real world. So,
but my advice for the women on this is, if you are dating a guy and he starts becoming shady after a while, leave before it gets worse.
That's easy.
Oh yeah, totally leave. Yeah. Just don't put up with anything. Because even when people think that the things that bother them in the beginning are not going to bother them with time, no, it's actually going to just get worse. So if you have arguments or anything that is, talking to you that is you're not suitable, for each other, you're just not. So just better go and find someone else, because all the bad relationships in the world are because people are overlooking little things that in time turned out to be not so little, and they're making compromises when they shouldn't be making compromises with themselves. They're not feeling themselves, and that's the other thing. And yeah, I agree on everything that you said, actually, but I like to look at things objectively. I mean, if I have a guy friend and if I have a girlfriend, and they both have some kind of a problems, and let's say they are also dating each other, and the girl says the problem is this and that, and the guy says the problem is this and that, I'm just going to listen to both their points, be objective, and if she is wrong, I'm just going to say that she is wrong. I'm going to take her side just because she's a girl. So it's important for these things to be objective as possible, and every person to themselves to be objective, with themselves, and not lie to themselves and make the situation in their mind look better, whatever the situation is. So overall it's very important, everybody, to learn to analyze situations, people, themselves, and just not get into something that will maybe last them for the whole their whole lives, especially if there's a kid involved, like my friends did, and then just wondering what to do with that thing on the couch that is just useless. In this case, they're guys.
I just have something to spread. This is actually a small question for you, Jerry. What is the like over there and where you live in your country? I don't know if you ever analyze this or visually, see this at all over there, but like domestically, like relationships, do you ever, is there like a high rate of domestic issues in your country or where you're from and so forth, or is it lower? Do you see it on the news all the time about, or a guy beating up a girl or a girl beating up a guy, or, domesticated related issues over there? Is anything like that go on a lot, or just, is it minimal?
Actually, no. I mean, even on the news about such things, maybe I heard such thing about 3 or 4 times in my life on the news till now. So it's not something very common, at least not what we can hear.
Yeah.
For people that I know, also is not very common. It's kind of rare. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's not rare over here. It's very common every day. There's always something domestically going on in our country with, you'll find out about a woman getting, beaten, like raped or whatever by a man, or, just a lot of domesticated stuff goes on in this country, and it's wild. It happens almost every single day, and it's sad.
Yes, I know. I mean, everybody knows everything about the U.S., so don't worry about it.
That's pretty sad, if you ask me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, our whole news are about the U.S. mostly. I mean,
Wow.
about our country, what's happening in Europe, in the world, and then the U.S. and Donald Trump. Like, this is all our news. So we're basically like living in America because we know everything all the time.
Jesus. Did they say anything positive about us at all?
Well, they just say the news. I mean, whatever happens, if it's positive, it's positive. But if it's not, they just say it. So, yeah.
I want to go ahead and say, I know there's a lot of millions of Americans, but I apologize for our country. I do.
Yeah, we are not the brightest
of
people in our country. I mean, you do have some very intelligent people, don't get me wrong, but there are some very, very, very self-centered, dumbass people in this country that just don't know their ass from a hole in the wall. I shit you not.
Oh, I would call them actually.
I mean, you put 2 + 2 in the front of them, like, is that 22? No. I mean, it's like, Jesus. This is the reason why countries look at us like we're idiots, because we are.
And the problem is, too, Gary, what you were saying about the whole, like, the sky is blue and someone argues with you. The people who do that are the ones who don't get enough attention. And they come on here and they look for attention.
And they bring that into their relationships, too.
Yeah.
They actually define their relationships based on their, like whether they're, intelligent or educated enough to believe things like that. Like, it's the sky blue. Well, it's blue when the sun is up, but when at nighttime it's black, and then they will fight you on that. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's gray,
Yeah.
It's just like.
I mean, it's crazy.
No context. No, they don't get context at all. Just, yeah. I know.
They need to be a little lot smarter over there. I mean, damn.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, the one thing I would say, and this is another topic for you guys. I don't know how you feel about this, Gary. I don't know how people. It seems like to me people in your country are actually smart. So I'm going to give you guys credit on this. But is it okay for a guy to be really good friends with the opposite sex?
Oh, that's an awesome question, Kev. Just let me tell you. I have to tell you this because it's awesome. So basically here, most of the people, even younger people, like me, they're just very conservative on that topic. I mean, their boyfriends or husbands or, whatever, they just can't accept that you can have, another friend that is a guy. I mean, if he's a he, therefore he has a penis, therefore you can't know him at all. Just like, well, I mean, I have so many guy friends now, and because I'm a social person and I just understand people, and when we have, I mean, when I meet people that I'm really connecting with, we just become friends, and I just have a lot of guy friends, and we go out on coffee, and I'm alone with them. It's not like my boyfriend is there. Sometimes he is when we go to see a movie or something. They know him, he knows them, and everything is awesome and perfect. But my girlfriends, at least all of them without my very best friend, they just can't even like assimilate that. They just can't. They're like, what are you doing, Gary? And I'm like, what I am doing? I'm having real friends, unlike you, because all they do is just be like that, like, oh my goodness, this is so strange. But in reality, they're just jealous because they're men. They just won't let them, have that, like, absolutely never. It's just never. And they're not free. They just put themselves in this, life, like they're 45 or something. It's so sad, actually. So basically, I'm the one that making things out of the norm, doing things. And they're like, oh my gosh, Gary is going to go with one of her friends at the zoo. Oh,
The
how
whole
is
world's
that
gonna explode.
possible? They're literally reacting like that. And when my very best friend, girlfriend, told that to her boyfriend, he was like, Gary's going to go with the guy friend. The same reaction. And I'm like, what is the problem here? I'm not doing anything. So most people are old fashioned, you can say. Um, and because some of them are actually from the villages here, because as I once told you, if I think I did, when you're from the big city, especially the capital like I am,
Yeah.
everything is more modern. People think more freely, although my friends are from here, but their men aren't. Not that my man is, actually, but he's nothing like that. He's absolutely the opposite. He understands my social life and social everything now. And now, even, I mean, he's chilling on the couch now, and he's doing his own thing while I'm here, doing this live. So everything is awesome and understanding, but they're just like snobby people that live under a rock or something, and nothing is allowed ever. So yeah, that's basically the situation. Some
Sounds like
people
you
are
have
like,
great friends, Jerry.
no, not anymore. I mean, since we kind of, went from school, I developed on every level, and they just stayed like right here, unfortunately. And I always try to help them, and with health issues also, with exercise, they just don't want to hear it. They just literally turn to the other side. Because I have one friend that recently gained a bit of weight, and I was trying to help her and tell her what to do, just easy step, just to lose the weight before it's too late. And she was seeming like she's accepting what I'm saying, but then she told my very best friend that I was annoying, and she didn't want to hear anything about losing weight. So when recently we were on my best friend's birthday, I was telling them both how one of my guy friends actually wants me to train him, so he can get a bit of muscle and so on. And immediately when she heard about getting muscle or anything like that, she turned away so fast. I mean, her back so fast. It's like she was having a seizure or something. She didn't want to hear anything. So they have complexes, insecurities. They don't want to hear best advice ever. They don't want to hear anything. They're just in denial all the time, and that's it. I mean, I'm done explaining anything to them anymore, honestly.
Wow.
I'll chime in on it, and I'll let Mel chime in on it. Actually, here's the thing. Here in the U.S., it's kind of similar to what you go through, especially where we live at. We live in the south region of the United States. And Southern men, majority of Southern men, I'm not like this, but most Southern men had the mentality that the woman needs to be in the kitchen. She doesn't need to be doing anything. And there's some men who grew up like that because that's how their families were. Usually, a lot of times when someone acts like that, it's what they're raised, it's what they're taught. And I've seen this in the acting world and the modeling world. I've seen girls come out there, want to do a project, and they want to do this project. As soon as their husband or their man finds out that it's another guy involved, no. I'm sitting there thinking, what if your girlfriend was in Hollywood and she has to do a love scene with Brad Pitt? What are you going to do? Tell her no? I
Yeah.
mean,
Wow.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, what are you going to do? You're going to tell her no? No, you're not going to tell her no. And it's like, it's just this, I understand the United States why there's this little, why, the men, the women, and everything. But for me personally, there's some men who get along better with women, and there's some men that get along better. Now, I don't believe in that. I believe that you get along with people regardless of what they are, as far as their sex goes.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, and when people say, "Well, like we have a friend who hangs out with men all the time," and she's like, "I get along better with guys." I'm like, "No, you don't. You just don't. You just like having men around because it makes you feel good." And when your friend, though, Gary, when she about the workout thing, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, people don't want to hear the truth, and when they hear the truth, they scavenge away and they blame you for hurting their feelings. When I'm like, you know what, pucker up, pucker up, Buttercup, and pucker up. If you want to lose the weight, get off your ass and do something. That's just how it is. I mean, there's no like, oh, it's okay. I'm sorry that you're gaining all that weight for eating all that Hershey chocolate. Stop eating the Hershey chocolate. I ain't trying to be mean, but I'm just saying, quit eating the shit. I mean, that's
damn obvious. It's damn obvious.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in that, and the fact of the matter is, Mel will tell you this story. A lot of men don't approach Mel when I'm around. And I'll let her explain all that now, so I'll let her go through that.
Okay, well, the thing is that you asked the question regarding friendships and, whether it's okay for men to have women friends and women to have men friends and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it at all, as long as the intentions of the opposite sex, especially if the person's in a relationship, is a positive, if there's no intentions involved.
Yeah.
If you're not, friends with so-and-so just to be able to get the attention on yourself. And yes, anytime we go out somewhere, anytime we go out somewhere, no matter where it's at, no matter who it is, if a male approaches me, I haven't been approached by a guy in quite a while, because this guy from afar can intimidate the rocks off of them before they even have a chance to say hi to me. Okay, so I'm pretty much secure in that sense of the word. All right. So, but as far as answering your question, I don't have a problem with men having friends of the opposite sex, as much as I don't have a problem with women having friends of the opposite sex, as long as there's no intentions on the other side. But a lot of the time, that always tends to change after a while, especially through social media and through technology and things like that. That's kind of what happened with me and my ex. I got a hold of a social media website, and I didn't have any friends back then, really, when I first moved here, and I started talking to him. And next thing you know, well, we meet, and it was like love at first sight. So, things like that you can't control. But, if you have a friend who is like that and wants more than just friendship with you, if it's just, mutual, that's one thing. But if there's more to it than that, then that's where the problem exists, where it starts.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't have I like to keep my friendship circle small, because I can't keep track of everybody. I really can't. The more people that are in our lives, I'm like, weren't we supposed to do something with that 40 million person over there that one time? I don't remember now, because I lost track, So,
well, not that many friends.
Yeah, no. We'd like to keep our circle small, and I prefer it that way because I can keep track of them all. So
yeah, of course. Well, there was cases that actually I had one guy friend that things could have gotten really bad. I mean, in the sexual way, but I had to cut that off, because I knew that he couldn't keep his thing in his pants, basically. So yeah. He promised to behave, but
that's a perfect example right there. Like I said, it's no issues if you don't have the intention to want to be able to be with somebody who's in a relationship already. If you do, then that's when you need to cut. You need to discuss boundaries or cut him off completely, because it's not going to get any better.
If you're a woman and you have a guy friend and you start developing weird feelings for that guy, then you need to talk to your significant other, sit them down, be honest as much as it's going to hurt, be honest, and be like, look, I have feelings for this person. Instead of basically,
but nobody does that anymore.
Instead of basically putting two guys against each other, which Gary, working security in bars, I've seen it happen live. A guy will leave for a minute. His girlfriend will talk to another guy. She'll get his number, and then all of a sudden, I see the guy check the girl's phone, sees another guy over there smiling, and then they want to start beating the crap out of each other. And I'm sitting there thinking, you let that woman right there get you guys all riled up to where you want to fight.
It happens every day.
It happens all the time.
Because men tend to fault, because that's the reason why women are the smarter sex, because we know how to fuck around with men mentally. We are brain ninjas, okay?
Oh boy.
Mental terrorists.
Okay.
We are mental terror. Well, okay, we're not that bad.
Guys, I have to read some of the comments, by the way. We have an awesome thought. Our thoughts are flowing awesomely, but I have to read those. So some of my guy friends actually is here. Stan Rising, he says, "What's up? It is not me." Okay, some other of my YouTube friends says, "Social media is the #1 thing to ruin relationships." Haha. Well, depending on how you use social media also. I mean, we can keep track of ourselves with social media, so it's obviously very useful, and I'm meeting people like you guys that I would never meet if it's not the internet. So that's one positive thing that is really positive. But like every other thing, if you abuse it, of course, it is not healthy anymore. I mean, that's with everything. Okay, so Sunrising says, "Boy, this question is hard. Leonardo's code can be an easier task." I don't know what he's talking about, because unfortunately I forgot to see the chat earlier. Okay, let me read something if there's something substantial here. Okay, I can tell you the internet can be scary as hell, especially if you're using stuff like deep web. Okay, also Gary, I'm glad you fixed that mic breaking problem you had last time. Well, I'm trying. I spoke too soon. Yeah, so that means that my mic broke. I'm breaking up again. Guys, you have to tell me if I'm breaking up. Okay, and then
you've been breaking up a few times, but we've been able to understand you, though, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You're fine right now. Go ahead.
Okay, just let me know if that happens again. Yeah, Gary, your mic. Okay, just a topic. Finally, smart comment. You know how many times I had to explain to a woman that I don't buy that shit that things will get better? Oh yeah, things will not get better ever. Just not. If they're not better already, if they're not just naturally better, they're just not going to get better ever. Okay, girl beating a guy in general is considered funny, not only in my country. Well, it's considered funny, but it's not unlikely. I mean, sometimes it happens because, different situations. But nobody should beat up, anybody. That's just wrong. Okay, America's
now you're
very
breaking up again.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me try something before I continue here. Let me know if I'm fixing it. Did I fix it?
You just have to keep talking.
I'm keep talking. Did I fix it? Did I fix it?
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now.
Okay, you're good now.
Okay. Okay. 45. My mom is a very social person, and she's near 50. My dad is not keeping her on a leash, but that is good. Okay, let me guess. His answer will be yeah, but we are not in Hollywood, right? And I'm not sure what he meant there. Honestly, it happens most of the time nowadays. Yeah, again, I don't know what, but now at least I'm going to watch the comments. So if there's anything, I'm going to read them and try to reply, of course, and we'll try to.
Hey Gary, can I respond to that guy about the Hollywood comment?
Yeah.
Okay. What I meant by that is, I've done some acting. Mel's done some acting. What I mean by that is, I've seen guys here in the United States get angry just to find out that the girl was going to be in a kill scene with a dude. I mean, I've seen it where guys are like, "You're not doing that scene with that guy," and blah, blah, blah. A lot of times, though, the reason why some of them are like that is because of how they're raised, and too, maybe in some cases those guys have been hurt in the past, and they feel like that the girl that they're with now is going to do the same thing. And when I meant that about the Hollywood thing is that, say for example, your girlfriend decides she gets into the acting business and she gets big and she gets offered a movie role. If she gets offered a movie role,
something just came to my mind about this.
If she gets offered a movie role and it's a big one, you can't control her. I mean, you can't. I mean, that, to me, honestly, you can't control a girl with that.
Here's my opinion about Hollywood. Hollywood depicts relationships in a very unrealistic way.
Yep.
And a lot of people tend, when they watch a movie or they watch TV and they see how a guy and a girl relate to each other on screen, it's not how it is in the real world. But the thing about it is Hollywood literally overdoes it when it comes to romance and sex and things like that on screen versus what reality is. And I think it gets to people in the real world because they're like, wow, the perfect, they're like the perfect couple and they get all the perfect things and this and that. And, it seems like they're always happy. Well, that's because it's a movie. It's supposed to look fake, because that's not what really happens in the real world, And I think that a lot of people tend to well, I really wish that I was this girl, or I really wish I was this guy and everything, because they seem to be getting it all and everything. No, they don't have it all. It's a fictitious world that they live in that's been scripted and created for them to look like. And I feel bad for people who actually, who can't get out of the fiction, out of the fake world that they live in. A reality, it's not reality. It's a fantasy. And I've even done it myself, where I'll look at a movie and I'm like, man, why can't I just be on have a nice beach house and open up the doors and the wind blows in my face and all this kind of all this crazy stuff. You look at the movies and you're like, man, I would love to have that house. I would love to have that car. Why can't why can't my friends be like those people on be like those people's friends on that movie? It's because it's not real. Because nobody acts like that in the real world. Everybody's stupid.
Oh yeah, and I'm waking up in my makeup. Perfectly done.
Exactly, Jerry. My thoughts exactly. I'm like, how do you look so perfect waking up out of bed? I mean, come on, you just woke up with that bed head. The makeup is perfect. The mascara is perfect. It's like, go. But people do compare themselves to that sort of thing, and it's sad. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Addams Family. I love that house. Family, yeah. I love that house. I love the Addams, but I've even had fantasies of actually having a house similar to that one. But I know it's never going to happen because those type of houses are very expensive, especially to keep up and all that. But it's nice to dream, isn't it?
Oh, but you know what happened the other day? I forgot to clean out my makeup for the first time in ever, and I wake up. I woke up in the morning with the eyeliner just went down here. And I just look like Harley Quinn with somebody just make her hair blown up, and I'm just all messed up, and here's black, and here's something black here. I'm like, what the heck is that? I forgot to clean up my makeup, damn it. So that is what is going to happen if you are sleeping with makeup, basically. And Sunrising has a comment. My comment was an example for how the chat will continue. I do not support that kind of behavior. Just to let your guest know. I consider myself not a jealous type. Oh, damn it.
Jerry, you're breaking up again.
Okay, and now? No.
You're good.
Now, okay, so yeah, basically he says, I do not support that kind of behavior. Just to let your guests know, I consider myself not a jealous type. Yeah, of course. Well, in the real world, my situation is, I'm not going to go and kiss on the mouth with my guy friends, of course, nothing like that. Just a friendly hug even, let's say when we meet, and that is not always the case even. So that's the far as that everything will go. if I'm an actress or something, of course that I have to do my job if I have a kissing scene or something like that. But in most situations, let's say we're not going to be actors, so basically a normal coffee and everything else. And at least in my situation, I'm not, when I'm serious relationship, I'm not attracted to just anybody. It has to be somebody very, very physically and mentally impressive to me to even consider them even something like an attractive person. So I have a very higher taste for that anyways. So it's impossible for me to be physically attracted to anyone, especially if I'm in monogamous relationship and all of that. So that's just my nature. Now I can't speak for other people though. So it's just no problem to me to have guy friends and have no feelings for them at all, that are sexual or anything like that. I'm just literally, seeing them as persons and human beings that are just awesome, and I just love to, talk to them, speak to them, and have them have fun with them, and not what I have with my most with my girlfriends. Just is not honest, and they just can't face the simple truth. They can't accept my health, my knowledge, my you have this person that knows so many things that can help you, but you're just going to ignore them. I mean me. Okay, so next comment is my buddy Diego. He said, well, if that's the case, then the man should not be dating an actor. If he's going to be against his girlfriend being in sexy scenes with the male actors, that's simple. Yeah. He should get someone else that is not an actress. And if he has such a problem with that, I mean, he should be a bit more secure if that relationship between them it's even true.
Speaking of this, now I have a really good topic, because I want to hear it from two. I want to hear from two women, two very intelligent women here.
Thank you.
Now, men.
Right, thanks.
Men.
You can tell me were stupid, and I probably would be like, all right.
Well, men. You guys in the comment section, you can chime in on this, and I will explain my reasoning behind this. Now, there is things we look at in the world. Men, and I know people stare, people glare, and people look. However, there are certain people that men kind of look at, they gawk at on Hollywood and TV and everything like that. But when a woman does it, it seems to be a no-no. And they, like for example, Gary, we have a friend here who, I don't know if you ever watched The Walking Dead, or if you don't, I mean, it's fine, but if you don't. But there's this guy named Daryl Dixon on there who is played by Norman Reedus. He is a very popular guy on the show, and women seem to love Daryl. But he kind of talks bad about Daryl because women love Daryl. Now, his girlfriend loves Jason Statham. And what I mean by loves Jason Statham, she thinks he's hot. And now he's over there saying all this bad stuff about Jason Statham, but at the same time, he can go and say, oh, that girl's hot. That girl's hot. Oh,
anything with something between their legs is hot.
And I have a buddy online who I talk to sometimes, and he, I know you watch wrestling, Gary, so you know who I'm talking about here, Alexa Bliss.
Oh yeah.
He basically is like, I wish I was the button on her shorts. I mean, it's like, really?
Yeah.
My question to you guys is, do you think it's fair for some men to be able to do that and then have a problem if you do it?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's not okay to. I mean, we can't have this. If you can look at somebody and just objectively say they're attractive, your significant other should be able to do the same, no matter who it is. So, and me, for instance, as a person that it's an artist that draws and paints and everything. I've been, drawing the male body for years since I was little, muscles and everything. And I always look at things, from the artistic standpoint, whether or not something is beautiful or not. I just have this, filter that I look everything through. It's just, my artistic nature, basically. So I can admire, let's say, John Cena and how he looks just visually, not that doesn't mean that I'm like going to jump on him when I see him or something like that. But I have this objective way of seeing when somebody is, you know, attractive and so on. And you know, my boyfriend can say that somebody is attractive too, but in my case at least, I have to convince him if some girl is attractive most of the times, you know, because he doesn't you know find most girls attractive for some reason. He literally like sees me only, which is so weird. And I always been like, you know, let's say we are watching the Vampire Diaries, or not the Vampire Diaries, just the originals, that CW show with vampires. And there's a really attractive witch there named Davina, and I'm like, wow, this girl is so beautiful, because you know I can see objectively that she is. Her, you know, I understand facial features and everything, so I can see that she has amazing facial features and so on. And I'm like, look at how beautiful she is. And he's like, oh no, I don't like her. And I'm like, why? She's awesome. I'm trying to, you know. So it's very rarely that he's going to say that, well, okay, she's attractive. Okay. He just doesn't care. So, but that's very rare. So, yeah, I'm
It is
different.
very rare. You don't have any men that, those men around here are like in a fantasy land. They're like, oh my God, that girl is so adorable. Oh, I would love to be. The things that men say in this country is like, it makes you feel like a piece of meat. Like, you know, all they want to do is just screw you instead of actually getting to know you. And, you know, we know some people who objectify women in a negative light instead of actually getting to, you know, figuring, especially with the ones that are on TV and in Hollywood. I'm like, they're not real. I mean, they're real people, but they're not who they really are.
The characters.
They're method actors. You know, they are literally on screen to entertain you. And that's all there is to it. I mean, if you met them in the real world and said half the things that you say, you know, to us, to them, they slap you across the face just for being ignorant and dumb. But that's what some men do around here. They objectify women like they are literally, they're like, you know, they are God's gift to you and everything like that. And it drives me crazy. I'm like, an ass is an ass. Boobs are boobs. A butt's a butt. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's got all the parts, you know. But what I see, and, you know, I'm not going to go into details about something that I saw about 2 or 3 weeks ago at the most. But there's somebody that Kev knows on here that has an obsession with a certain female wrestler, and came to him one day and was like literally saying how obsessed, like she could have had her own zip code with her ass. And I'm like, I looked at her ass and I'm like, honey, my ass is bigger than hers. I'm like, there's nothing there. I mean, what is he looking at? I mean, I don't see. I mean, it's like straight shot. There's no. I mean, okay, fine.
It's flat, you mean? It's flat?
Huh?
He has a flat butt, you mean?
Yeah, it's a butt. That's all it is, you know? I mean, it's like comparing butts and comparing boobs and this and that. I'm like, once you see one, you've seen them all.
Let me ask the guys a question. Would you stare at a girl's ass if she was shitting on camera? No, you wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't.
Kevin.
Be honest with you, wouldn't. I'm just saying.
You'd be surprised, Harry, who the kind of fetish that people are into in this country.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fetishes, and people would actually get off on just watching that. So.
But here's my response to that is that now me and Mel, we like to poke each other with the stick. I mean, because there's a certain Johnny Depp commercial that shows him in the desert and everything like that, and she thought that he looked nice on it. I joke with her about that. She likes Finn Balor. I joke with her about that. She jokes with me because my childhood crush was Linda Carter. You know,
Linda Carter, she was awesome. I mean, she's still very beautiful on that age.
Yeah, I mean, she was my childhood crush. Now, it's okay to say you had a childhood crush because, you know, she had a childhood crush with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. But I'm just saying, like, nowadays, when I look at the women out there, I tell her all the time. I tell her how beautiful and how much of a goddess that she is to me. I mean, to me, honestly, I can watch girls on TV. Yes, are they pretty? Sure. I mean, like, there's some guys out there that I find attractive. Hell, I got a man crush on Hugh Jackman. I mean, that's my dude. That's my guy. I mean, that's like me getting these little sideburns right here. That's all because of him. I mean, everything there is.
We have a very, very, very tight relationship with each other, and that's something that we can't say for a lot of people that we know. Who are in relationships. They're just, it's not as tight as it is with us. And I'm an observant person. I like to see how everybody else is like, versus us. I don't compare or anything like that, but what I consider attractive and what other people might consider attractive, two completely different things. I don't really look. I'm kind of like your significant other, where I'm like, nah, they're okay. I mean, I don't do that sort of thing. I'm not really like looking. I mean, I look, but I don't like, oh my God, if I had that, I'd be happiest person on the planet. I mean, that's how people are, though. They're like, oh my God, why am I single or not?
Speaking of which, guys, just because like Scarlett Johansson looks good in her Black Widow suit, that's because she took months in the training. And you take away the makeup, you take away like camera features, and
CGI,
and you take away stuff like that. You take away her makeup, you take away spray tans. They don't even look half of what they look like for real.
Yeah.
And honestly,
probably. I mean,
yeah.
I can't really say, but yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, they still look the same in the face, but they're not like. I mean, when you do roles like that, if you're a guy, you're doing a role like as Thor. I mean, of course, you have to gain like muscle mass. You have to do something like that. But when I seen Chris Hemsworth when he's not playing Thor, he's just an ordinary slim guy
with a lot of money.
With a lot of money.
He's still
he's still pretty.
Yeah, he has a handsome face, handsome features, nice structure. And he's mostly ripped all the time, at least when I see him, except for that movie when he played Marco Polo. I mean, not Marco Polo, but he played in some kind of a movie. Oh, not Marco Polo, it was a movie about that whale. Oh, damn it, I forget the title. But anyways, I mean, he lost a lot of weight there, but usually in all of his roles, he always tried to be lean, at least, with visible abs and all of that. Not too, muscular, but at least fit and good looking overall. So, yeah, at least that. And just let me read some of the comments. And I'm breaking up again?
Yes,
yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was trying to say that, but you didn't hear me. It's okay.
And now.
No, you're good.
Well, kind of, sort of.
Still a little
bit, yeah. There's a lot of static.
Okay, let me just try something real quick here. Okay, how about now, guys? How about now? Now?
Now. Yeah,
a little bit better.
A little bit better. A little bit better, yeah.
Better. Okay, let me just... Good. Good, you say. Okay.
What?
Okay, let me just read some of those comments here. Okay, so, well, my buddy Diego says, well, if that's the case, then the man should... Oh, okay, I read that. Yeah, that kind of a person needs to find a couch potato housewife. I think he meant when we talked about the insecure man and all of that. Interesting. He also, Sun Rising also says, interesting topic. I will use this comment when I see another meme about how girlfriend is about to shoot his boyfriend because he put a like on a picture. Yeah, that's so stupid, by the way. I mean, I do know such people that will be so jealous that even if you put a like on something, they will probably hate you the whole day and resent you the whole day, to say the least.
Now you're really breaking up, Jerry.
You're really breaking up.
You're really cracking up now.
Okay, let me try something again. I have several more options to try here. That's the stupid software, but it also makes the mic a lot clearer. I mean, the sound around me a lot more clear, but...
You just sound like you're on a cell phone, but like in the middle of nowhere. And it keeps breaking up.
How awesome. Well, I'm trying to reach the software. Okay, here it is. Okay, how about now?
We'll
How
see.
about now?
Just keep talking.
And keep talking. I'm keeping.
Just keep talking.
Yeah.
That's all we're gonna know. That's the only way we're gonna know.
Okay, I'm talking again. I'm talking
Do we
again.
sound okay? Do we sound okay?
Yeah, you're perfect. You're perfect. That's just from the software. I never had that problem before. I installed it, but it just helps you with the recordings. It just clears everything, and I don't have to clear it afterwards. The sound
Sounds
that
to me
is.
like you need to get a new mic.
Yeah, or just delete the software altogether.
Yeah. How old
So-
is the software?
Well, it's brand new actually.
Oh.
Yeah. So can you hear me now? By the way.
Better, yes.
Yeah, a little bit better.
Okay, so let me finish with the reading here. Okay, good question, but no, I will not watch that crap going on. I think he meant about the, the crapping and the lady button, the crapping.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, that's pretty much what I'm going to read now. And again, how am I sounding, guys?
What?
How do you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can hear you. It's just you're just muffled anytime you talk. So I really don't think there's a whole lot you're gonna be able to do about that. I mean, we can understand you. It's just very staticky. That's all.
Oh no, I think I can do actually something about it. So just I'm just going to delete the software real quick, and it should be fixed actually.
Okay.
You can talk in the meantime, of course, while I'm doing this.
Well, here's the question. I mean, I know you work out at home, but I'm sure you've worked out in a gym before, and Mel works out in a gym. How does it make you feel weird as a woman working out in a gym, knowing that men are creeping and watching you from a distance?
Well, I actually never worked out in a gym before, to be honest with you. I just didn't. I was going to Zumba, but that's not the same as a gym with, with everything else. So that's not the gym, that's just Zumba class. So no, I didn't experience that yet.
You're cracking.
I'm breaking you, right?
Yeah, you keep your words are just really cracked right now.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I'm just going to go and delete that, but with Windows 10, so I'm having difficulty going there to where I'm supposed to be deleting the software. So just.
How about this? How about you answer that question while she's doing that?
What was the question?
Like, if you're a woman, like, and you go to a gym, does it make you feel weird going there knowing that you're being docked at?
Well, I don't ever pay attention. I don't pay attention to anybody really when I'm at the gym, unless there's somebody specifically that I might see that I know or whatever, and I might just wave to them. But I don't really pay attention to anybody when I'm at the gym. I just go there. I do the only thing that I don't like to do is I don't like to be in the front of a mirror too long, because I just don't like looking at myself. I don't know what it is. I just don't like looking at myself. I don't like other people. I don't really have a paranoia issue with the gym. I just kind of have my own routine and what I like to do there and so forth. I mean, bench pressing, I really don't like to do much of because it just hurts my arms and everything like that, and especially my back and whatnot. But as far as, I don't really feel like I can understand why women would feel a little uneasy going to a gym and being looked at like that. But then again, if you do go to a gym and you're wearing a certain kind of outfit that's going to attract attention to you, well, you kind of have to look at it from that perspective too. Yeah. Because unless you're at home doing it, like, if you're doing your bra and panties and things like that, that's one thing. But if you go to a gym, you're doing it in your bra and panties, you're going to be looked at. That's just how it is. It's how the human world works. So, but it doesn't happen to me because I pretty much dress down whenever I go to a gym and so forth, and I still get my workout on and everything, and I feel good about it. So I don't know how Jerry is, how you are when you go to a gym or when you're working out, but I'm a lot different. I just don't pay attention to anybody. I just go there and I focus on what I want to do, and that's that. So.
And plus, you have a big gorilla with you. So
Yeah.
Well, you're not always around whenever I'm doing stuff, but most of the time you usually are. But.
Well, just to ask you guys first, can you hear me? Because I deleted everything.
Still there.
Really? Okay, let me just unplug the mic real quick.
Whoa, there you go. Maybe it's your speaker.
The speaker, because the speaker's not working.
Say again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
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 Yeah. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, finally.
Sherry's come back.
Hopefully it's not going to repeat itself again. So about
I don't
that,
know what
well,
you did, but whatever you did, it cleared everything up. So.
just unplug and plug the mic again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my question, Gary, was like, as a woman, if you go to a gym or something like that, is it hard for a woman to go to a gym knowing that there's men there who are not really there to work out, but sometimes they're just there to gawk at women?
Well, as I said, I was about to go to a gym, but it's with one famous Bulgarian guy, and we are supposed to be shooting something there. But I'm not sure when that's going to happen. So maybe we're going to be rather alone when that's happening. I don't know, but I personally never went to a gym on my own or to a gym at all. So I always worked out at home basically, or like I said, going to Zumba. But I can tell you from the other hand, I mean, from day-to-day life, basically, that even if I'm with a lot of clothes and walking down the street, even in wintertime, actually, I'm sometimes hearing whistles directly at my face, even like I'm just going. I have a coat on, a hat, and and some guy just walking towards me, and he's like looking at me in the face, and he's like you know and that is happening the summertime, mostly because everybody's horny in summertime, but it happened also in wintertime. And even sometimes when I was waiting to cross the street, some guys just stopped the car next to the sidewalk, and they lowered the windows, and and they brought up like a big huge speaker megaphone, I think what's called, and they were like something like, "Hey, sexy."
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
like the whole
Wow.
street heard them, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm just walking down the street, minding my own business, and that is going on since I was a teen. In a lot of cases like that as well. So I can't say in the gym, but just in life in general. Even when I, talk to clients, when I have interactions face to face with clients, at my job, there's sometimes when they see me from the door, they're just like this, not even hiding it. They're just like, looking at me from
That's what
up
I would be
to.
like. What are you looking at? Be like, what are you looking at? Have you never seen a human being before? What are you looking at? What are you gawking at? Why are you whistling at me? What do you see that anybody else doesn't have? What do I have that they don't? Why?
Well,
I don't get it.
Here's the thing from a guy's point here. But every time I went to a gym, to do my thing. I go in, I go out, I conquer my workout, and I leave. That's just how I am. Now, I have seen I've seen women, though, go to a gym, and they will wear the most revealing outfits, and they know that men are staring. And now those are the women who basically just want attention. Now, if you see a woman like that, you know what? If she's getting stared at and she wants that attention, that's on her. That's on her, because you're portraying that. But by the way, Gary, when you were saying that about the summertime, I think a lot of times men just see women and they see the summertime and they just basically thinking, oh my God, I mean, like, she's wearing like a tank top and all this and blah, 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 blah. She's showing more skin. And that's how most men are with that. Well, you said,
Yeah.
but,
I know.
Honestly, as far as working out goes, I tell guys this, look, I've seen guys who come to the gym wearing cologne. And I'm sitting there thinking, and I got their cell phones out and they're taking these pictures and this and that. And I'm sitting there thinking, look, you join a gym for a reason. Picking up a girl at a gym is not the way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you're not there for this, first of all. You're there to train.
It's not a social environment.
I don't even like talking to people at the gym. I'm just like, look, I'm under my headphones. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
Stay away from me.
Right.
That's just how it is. I go in, I conquer. She goes in and conquers her thing, and we're gone.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Sun Rising says when a girl is attractive, she is attractive not only in summer or winter, whatever, or whatever. Yeah, of course, but you know, just I didn't expect it to have this kind of things happening in winter time for some reason, just because I was used to it mostly at summertime. Yeah,
Let
basically
me
for
ask you.
that.
Yeah, let me ask you, Gary. Have you ever seen that video of that woman that was walking in New York and she's getting whistled at by a bunch of guys? She's just all she's doing is wearing t-shirt and jeans, just walking in New York, and these guys are making all these comments. Now, here's my question: if you're a guy and you're
Well,
walking,
hold that thought. Have you ever seen those videos?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
okay,
so they're
I can imagine it. I can imagine it. Yeah.
yeah, and Mel has a sister that lives in New York, and a sister-in-law that lives in New York, and they get gawked at, and they get whistled at and all that stuff like that. I mean, like, when Mel's at work downtown, she gets whistled at by like old guys, homeless guys, just weird people in general. I mean, it's kind of, I can see it where it could be, men might do that as they're thinking, okay, I'm showing you a compliment. All fine and dandy. However, to do that, it makes the woman think that you're desperate. And if you act desperate, you're never going to get a woman, period. Now, if you're a desperate guy who likes to spend money on a woman, women are smart. They're going to see that. And the women who date guys for money, they're the ones that you're going to attract, and they're going to be like, ooh, I go over there and do all this, and he's going to give me all what I want, blah, 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 blah. And then they get hurt in the end, and they call women bitches and hoes and
Oh
all that stuff like
yeah.
that. You know,
Exactly what is
to
happening.
me,
Yeah.
to me, honestly, if you're getting mistreated by a woman and you're not doing anything about it, it's on you as the man. It's on you. And just because one woman does it doesn't mean every woman is going to be the same way. Every man is different. Every woman is different. Everybody's got different personalities. Sometimes when you date someone and it doesn't work, you just have different personalities. It doesn't work. Just cut your losses. Boom, bam. Now, me and Mel have dealt with this on a few occasions where we have friends here who for some reason can't stay single for more than like
a week.
And we keep telling them all the time, just stay single, do you. Find out who you are as a person. Find out what you want in a person. And every time they see a guy, they're like, oh, I'm dating somebody new again. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, but you also have a daughter, and your daughter gets attached to these guys because her dad's not around. And that's another bad thing, too. When you start dating someone that has a kid and you get attached to that kid, if you're a woman, women out there, if you have a kid, don't let your kid meet any person you're dating until you know that it's serious. Don't do that.
Yeah. That's a whole another thing, when there's a kid involved, and you have to consider that, and you can't just bring random guys all the time in their lives. It's kind of dangerous, actually. So they have to be a lot wiser, and in the dating process. And there's so many things that when you first time meeting somebody, you can right away guess what that person is and how they're going to be. So a lot of people, when they're not so sophisticated inside, not so intelligent, they show their shortcomings very early with the way they're speaking, behaving, and everything, and you can tell right away. But a lot of people just overlook that. As I said, when we started this conversation, is the same problem again. And especially with a kid, you have to be super careful and not just be jumping in relationships. Better be single than with a crappy significant other by your side, because that's just another problem that you just don't need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you get? Time on that one?
I just drew a blank. Okay. Honestly, I just drew a blank.
Oh, well, here's a good question for you guys. Now, a lot of times, I know men, we can be competitive with each other. But I've actually done more research, and I found out that women are more competitive with each other than men are. What's your takes on that? What?
I don't really have a take on that one, only because of the fact that it goes one and the same. I mean, women are very territorial around here as much as men can be very territorial around here. It's just that one might be more visually, one might be more verbal than the other. It just depends on the person, really.
Right.
I mean, I don't really see that happening all too often. I mean, now people do like to create drama around them or start their own drama around them for attention purposes.
Right.
But as far as, you know, as far as that's concerned, I don't think it's just, you know, there's a fine line between territory, because we're not property to anybody, and it's okay to be territorial to a degree, but I don't see it happening all that often, only because people just don't give a shit anymore. They really don't. It's like, you're either going to accept me for who I am, and I'm going to accept you for who you are, and we're going to go out there in the world and explore, and, you know, what's the word for it? Not experiment, but, you know, just see what's out there. And so the territory thing is a little bit far-fetched, as far as, you know, that's like an old saying now, that, you know, women are more territorial than men. It's just more being protective in that sense. You know, you're fighting for who you love, for who you want to be with, and things like that. It's not really territory. It's just life, really.
Right.
No, I have a different take on that, actually.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, we can also, you know, look at how things are when.
Jerry, your mic. Readjust your mic again.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't hear you at all. Can't hear you at all. Nope. Nothing. I can't hear you.
I have an ear infection. I can't hear you.
No sound.
No sound.
Nope. Nope. Nothing. Nothing.
You shouldn't have told her to do that.
Nope. I should probably end up, you know, editing this later anyway. No. I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just let you keep going.
I'll check the comments.
What she might be saying, trying to see if.
Oh.
Still nothing.
I still can't hear you.
How about now? Now?
Yay! You're back.
Thank God. Okay. So, where was I? Oh yeah. Okay,
yeah,
so,
what you thought.
Yeah. So
About territories.
Yes. So for instance, you know, when I was a teen, you can say at one point I didn't have any boyfriends or anything like that. You know, at the end of my school year, so to speak. You know, so there was, you know, one of my girlfriends that she was very wild, and she got a boyfriend. She was making out with him on coffees, and we're just like a group of people going, on a coffee, to have a coffee, and she's on her boyfriend making up with him like there's no tomorrow. And it was it was not pleasant to look at all, and so on. And I was, super insecure about myself because I'm like, wow, I can get a boyfriend and all of that. But in the same time, the reality is that she's just being very loose and just being a bitch, basically. Doing whatever she can to manipulate and capture the guys, because he was not the only one. She probably, cheated on him about 3 times at least. Um, and other girls, from school that were the most not attractive girls you can ever imagine in your life. They were getting guys because they were so um, what's the word for that? Like super bitchy and super insisting, and the guys just couldn't say no because they were teenagers. They had hormones and all of that. So
Yeah.
all of those girls had boyfriends, and I had absolutely nothing at that point. But then, of course, I realized that if the one thing that I want is a quality, boyfriend, quality guy, and none of those people, not the girls, not the guys that they were with, were quality people in any way. So what I'm really regretting about, the time just the time is not then for me. It wasn't, and I just didn't found the person for me at that time. So I can't just be with anyone like they are, with complete trash of a people, and they are the same. Quality people are a lot more rare. So of course that I was single. That is how it's supposed to be, and I'm not a person that will attract those guys. Sorry, those guys as well, and I wouldn't want to. And I was just not interesting to them, because I was just keeping it to myself. I didn't act in any way, you can say promiscuous or anything like that. Just anything. I was so modest as hell. Basically, that's just my nature. I was beating guys left and right, but that's just because there were idiots, and we had a lot of other things to deal with. But yeah, basically, that um, uh, we have sort of competition, but uh, mm, what are we competing? What are we competitive about? If there are quality guys that are for you, they're just going to go for you and just not see the other girls at all. And if there are guys for them, they're just going to go with them, because I will be too super not interesting to them. They will not be able to appreciate my qualities. They just don't have senses and eyes for that. They just go for more simple girls, so to speak. I don't want to sound offensive, but you know what I mean. And some funny comments here. Just a second. So yeah, there's a troll in the comments. Then my moderator took care of that. Alt info, my friend, she's okay now. It's kind of hard to read the chat for some reason. The scrolling of the chat, that is. Okay, everything's okay. So yeah, you can go.
Okay, now I've had this happen to me quite a few times in the men's section. For me personally, I dated a few girls back in the day, and I've had a few of them who I got, I thought I got a connection with, and then all of a sudden I come to find out that there's another guy involved, a couple guys involved, or they want to go back to their ex that treated them like crap because they rather go with the devil that they know instead of the devil that they don't know. And I understood that, and when me and her were friends at first, she gave me the best advice in the world. She's like, stay single for a while, do you, figure out who you are and what you want in life. And what I figured out what I want in life is right next to me the whole time. So that stuff happens for guys. but I think in a lot of sense of the word, it's hard for us men, because some of us are good guys. We do get mistreated. You know, I was engaged to be married when I was 19 years old, and you know, it was probably the worst mistake that I ever made, but I learned from that mistake. And that's how you do it in a relationship. Whether you're a man or a woman, you learn from the mistakes that you make as a person. As soon as you are able to admit,
most people don't do that anymore. Most people just continue doing the same thing over and over and over again, and they wonder why they're not happy. And then they fail to look in the mirror and be like, you know what, maybe I'm the problem, not them.
yeah.
Oh boy. Well, that's why I said everybody should look objectively on themselves and their relationships and their partners, because if you're just hiding from the truth, everything is just going to continue the way it is. I mean, the same way that I was with my previous boyfriend. I was like, oh God, you know, give me a sign what I should do here. And the answer was, you know, all the time in front of my eyes, yeah, you should kick his ass to the curb, you know, because he's just not worthy in any sense of the word. You're not happy anymore, and he's not doing the things that he used to do, and he's being disrespectful, and he basically treated me like I'm some kind of a trophy girlfriend or something like that, you know, only for show, but he didn't really actually paid any attention to me anymore. It was so bizarre. I mean, how he changed so fast just because he got, you know, his dream, study topic in the university, because, you know, which here, I mean, for him, that was such a huge deal that he all of a sudden became like a celebrity in his, in his live area, and I became like his trophy or something, and it was so absurd. I mean, something that started, very purely, so to speak, it became very, I'm just speechless about it. And when I think about it, I just don't want to get back to that thought. But, I mean, there was indications from the start that he had this insecurities about himself. And when he really got what he wanted professionally, in the university in this case, but that is also was going to guarantee a very good job after that, in that particular thing that he specialized in. So there was a lot of indications, his mom, his way of life, how he was controlled by his mom. So basically a mama's boy. So if I was, now with my mind, at how now, I can think, and I can, separate the emotion from, all those, I mean, the way of thinking, I will definitely be, breaking up with him since the beginning, since the first conversation. But, when you're very young, coming out of school and all of that, you're just like, you meet somebody that you have a lot of, things in common with, you're get in love, and then he just, behaves like he's some kind of a simpleton from a village, which he was. But I was hoping that he's not going to be the stereotype or something, but he was, and yeah. Anyways,
that's exactly how my ex was. My ex was almost the exact same way. Treated me like a trophy throughout most of our relationship. He was a very, very big mama's boy. He got pretty much everything he wanted on a silver platter. Anything that he asked for, she gave. I understand that. I've been there. I've done that, and I'm thankful that I got out of the relationship when I did. It was on my terms, because I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't be the side piece. I just couldn't be the side piece to his mom, it sounds kind of weird and gross, but what I'm saying is that he was more about how much can I get without having to work hard for what I want.
Oh yeah,
and it's just I get that. I understand that. So.
Oh yeah, it just became a lot of hurtful things, and a lot of disregarding me. I mean, at one point, even his pet fishes were more important to him, because he was actually, buying things for the fishes. So funny.
Wow.
Instead of me, he's like everything else that he is like personal to him. He's like, he has to take care of that. And when he traveled for 1.5 hours to be with me, his mom calls and he's like, "Oh, I have to go." I'm like, "What? You just got here?"
Whoa.
we haven't seen each other for days. I'm getting crazy here from the thought. I mean, for the fact that I miss him, and he's like, "Well, I have to listen to my mom." So, and he was, he's older than me, so he should be, more independent, and she should, respect that we have a relationship that we have to. I mean, we have to be able to have. And she's like, "No, I don't care. Just come on, son. You have to yard. You have to deal with the yard. I mean, to do." Some housework. Like literally, that is what she called him. Like she didn't know an hour before that.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, those are considered narcissistic mothers that can't disattach themselves from their kid.
Yeah.
And they want to control their kid because they have control issues themselves. And that's the sad part about it, because it's hard to, when you look at it from an outsider's perspective, there's a lot of people out there like that, a lot of parents that are like, especially moms that are like that. And the ones that are in it, want their child to grow up and be independent, especially once they pass on and everything. Those are the healthy relationships. But the ones that can't seem to let go and say, and they find manipulative ways of keeping their child grounded without being able to let them flourish. That's an unhealthy relationship. And it's the same thing, versus, husband and wife and boyfriend and girlfriend, things like that. It's the same premises. If you just don't let the person that you're with go and do their thing and let them explore and see what the world is all about, they're never going to. And if you teach them that everything is wrong in the world, they're going to believe that forever. Mm-hmm. So,
Gary, most of the guys, most of your subscribers are men or women, or are they mixed?
Oh, they're guys. They're guys, most of them.
Okay, here's my advice to you guys. If you're having problems with girls now, or if you're single, here's what you do. You have to play the field. And what I mean by play the field, I don't mean go sleep with every girl you meet. I mean you have to date all different kinds of girls, go on a couple of dates, see what's out there, know what you want in life. Know what you want in life. And also, if you start to get into a relationship, if there's hobbies of yours that she's not necessarily into, that's when you start teaching each other about certain things. Like for me, I used to like going shooting. She never used to do that. Now it's something that me and her
have done before together.
We
do a lot of things together.
Exactly. And we
don't like to really do things separately. It's not the fact that we don't like doing things separately. It's just that we just like a lot of things that guys like to do, like shoot pool, go bowl, just men stuff. I like doing. I'm more like kind of like a tomboy in a sense. So.
And my advice to you guys is simply this: learn to teach the girl that you're dating what you like to do, but also be open to what she wants to do too, and what she wants to bring to the table, and what she wants to teach you as well. You have to learn to be open-minded when you're in a relationship, because if a girl's been hurt before and she's not ready to do stuff with you or have sexual relations with you or something like that, be patient. I know that's the hardest thing in the world in life for a lot of people. Hell, I barely have patience myself. But when something like that happens, you have to be patient, be kind, but also do not let the girl run over you. If you start seeing a girl run over you, you got to learn to speak up, and you got to learn to be a man. Don't be an asshole, but speak your mind.
Yeah.
As a man.
Yeah, both. Both people should speak their mind. And if somebody tries to, be over the other person, you're just not for each other. I mean, it has to be equal. Nobody should push the other one down in any way. So, yeah. Am I breaking up again, by the way?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it, guys.
And another thing.
I mean, you can finish, guys, but I have to go because it's almost 11, and I still have to, work out.
Yeah.
I got you. If men or women both, just remember one thing. There's a million. They always use the term, "There's a million fish in the sea." There is a million men and women out there. Okay, I mean, just because you date like 3 or 4 different girls, or you date three or four different guys. They may not be the one, but the one is out there. You just have, you never know when you're going to bump into it. And plus, I know some people like to look at people about looks and everything, and I understand that. But who knows, though? The girl that comes into that coffee shop who may be heavy set or may not be like
the most attractive person on the planet.
May not be the most attractive person on the planet. They may be your soulmate. You don't know until you open up yourself. Trust yourself. Trust your feelings. Trust your gut. That's my advice to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know what? We can talk about. I mean, in general, we can talk about. I think there was a very interesting topic, like, for instance, I mean, I heard that before, that someone said about whether or not you should go for, you know, the pretty girl or the not so pretty girl. I just think that those things just depends. I mean, you just have to know the person, and then, you know, when you know someone, they get more attractive as you get to know them. Although first time maybe they're not so attractive. I mean, that's also a thing. When you meet for the first time somebody, maybe they don't seem like exactly like your type, but with time, as you get to know them, they're getting more and more, you know, attractive to you, so to speak. Of course, there are some things that you can just overlook. I mean, there are some of those things that can speak to their character, and their lack of, you know, health, you know, mind for health. And there's the thing that I always talking about, the respect for their bodies and all of that. When if somebody, you know, doesn't respect their body and their health, I'm not going to respect their body, because they're not doing that. And if I'm going to take care of myself and how I look, I want the other person to do that too, because that just, you know, speaks of course, their character. And it's a strong thing, you know, to get a hold of yourself and just be like, no, just going to be healthier, just going to watch how I look and how I present myself in life, because that's also respecting my other half, you know. Because I'm seeing my friends, I mean, my girlfriends, again, they're guys, they're just looking like 40-something-year-old guys, and they're, you know, 20-something. They just let go of themselves completely, and the way they're dressed, look, you know, weight, everything. And the girls just don't have any reason to even put on makeup these days. I mean, they seem to, you know, giving up themselves, and that's just not a healthy mindset to be. And yeah, all of those things, I mean, are important. I mean, the way that you present yourself in life and how you treat your body and all of that. So yeah, health conscious and physically fit, so to speak. Yeah, that's my thing, at least.
Yeah. If you don't take yourself seriously and you don't take care of yourself, no one else is going to take you seriously either.
Yeah. So I mean,
very true.
Yeah, because, you know, like my previous boyfriend was, he was the opposite of what I like, at least, you know, as a body type. I mean, he was skinny, but loose skinny, you know, not fit skinny. Like, for instance, I was stronger than him. Even he couldn't even pick me up. I mean, he would tremble when he tried to pick me up. He was like, ah, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I was even lighter than I am now, and he couldn't pick me up like good. And when we wrestle, for instance, I can over wrestle him, and he was really embarrassed, and he got really angry one time, and all of those stupid things. I mean, if you're not going to be a man and your arms are going to flap when you just, you know, going like this, and they're just going to dance. It's so ridiculous. That's not attractive.
It's playing the violin.
It's terrible. And he said, I'm not going to work out. I'm just not. I'm fine the way that I am. No, you're not fine. You have a gut. You have a developing baby in you. I mean, that's the most unattractive thing. And he had a very bad posture, actually. He was not sitting, you know, straight. He was sitting like this all the time. So his back was starting to get round, and his belly was starting to, you know, get more up front, so to speak. And he didn't look like a young guy anymore. I always associated him with the grandfather, basically. Like, he reminded me of a grandfather, and even my grandfather wasn't like that. So that, just imagine how not self-conscious some people can be. And he expected that I'm going to have to find him attractive. He expected that I have to accept him like that. But at the same time, he's like, oh, you have to look perfect. Now we're going to this place and this place. And I'm like, yeah, well, of course that I'm going to try to look, perfect, because that's just me, not because of you or anything like that. So since then, I mean, that's the first time that I made a compromise with the outside appearance. I never did that before. And since then, I'm like, no, if the guy's not respecting his appearance and he's not conscious about those things like I am, I just don't care. He's not worthy of me, and that's it.
This is true. Oh, and by the way, before we go, I just want to let everybody know, Gary, you got this one. You made,
Oh.
you made that. But I think that pretty much covers what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So final thoughts in the comment section. She needed to grow up in order for me to trust her. I tried to teach her, but she just didn't want it to learn yet. Yeah, that's my friend experience that he's talking about. Yeah. Well, as I said, if she's not on your level, mindset and way of thinking, she's just not for you. You can't teach her anything because she's not mature to that level. And yeah, so that can happen with women towards guys in the opposite. I mean, girls can be also immature, and if you're a lot more mature than her, she's going to make a problem out of everything. Then that's just not the type of relationship that you want to be, and that's just not healthy, anyways.
Yeah.
Great. Great.
Okay, guys, so that was the topic. We will have another discussion with Kevin and Mel here as soon as we have, time, and I'm going to try to see what the stupid issue with my mic is, because he doesn't do that when I'm recording myself, so that's only a problem with the Hangouts for some reason.
And it's happening again, but don't adjust it, okay? Because we're almost done.
Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, so thank you very much, guys. If you want, you can say something.
Well, I'm just thankful that, we're finally able to talk about this with you on here and everything like that. I think, there's a lot to learn in the world now. I mean, relationships from back in the day till up until now have changed dramatically. And, it seems like people just can't, commit well enough anymore. But it's sad, really. It is. The world around you just changed along with relationships. So.
Also, we're going to plan something with Gary soon about the whole paranormal.
Yes, paranormal.
So that should be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, although I really didn't want to come back to that, but since you guys want me to, I will. But I will have to say 15 minutes of disclaimer that I do not claim to, state all those things as a fact. And that's it, because, previous time I had so many problems with that, and everybody thought that I'm crazy, and not everybody, like particular guy that thought that I'm completely nuts because I was so, what was the word for that? Like cocky about this, and it's just because I studied that, all my life, but that, of course, I can't push that on anyone. So if anyone has something against what we're going to discuss in the paranormal hangout, so please don't watch. We don't need a lot more trolls to be like, oh, but explain this and explain that. Well, you can explain a lot of things, but you will still not believe them anyway. So why just stop watching, and that's it. And I'm not going to be claiming all those things as facts. I mean, I could believe them as such, but I'm not going to push that on you. And I'm talking to those people that already be like, what the heck she's talking about. So yeah, if you like the paranormal things, we can just talk about these things as far as we know. I mean, me and Kev. But if you don't like them, guys, nothing I can do. But don't be like, oh, you're so arrogant because you think you know all those things. I'm not arrogant. I'm just saying what the heck I know, what I've learned, and you can still want to disprove it, but I'm not here to debate this. We're going to be here to just have a friendly discussion about this thing that's called paranormal that we're interested in. So that's it.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah, and to iterate what you just said with that, it's okay to have an opinion on something. If you don't believe in something like that, it's okay to have an opinion. But if people do have an opinion that's different than yours, respect their opinion also.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, all kinds of people have all kinds of experiences and backgrounds and you know, way of education and all of that. And if you have a different life than somebody that never experienced anything in their lives, never seen anything, what I can tell you, I mean, I have a different life, different experiences, so you can't be like, I mean, you have to be able to put yourself in other person's shoes, even if it's something like this, because you have to accept that, yes, maybe, you know, you had, you know, different experiences in that field, and maybe, yeah, I didn't have any, but you did, so at least that. And we're not here to try to hit you on what we know and try to convince you or anything else. We're just going to have a discussion like we discuss, you know, relationship and everything else. Again, I mean, it's a topic, for goodness sakes. I'm studying Bulgarian. I started to speak Bulgarian. It's like trying to come out. Yeah, so that's it pretty much, guys.
Okay. Well, thank you for having us on your show.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. And of course, feel free to download this Hangout and put it on your channel.
I would. And plus, by the way, guys, I have a little, for all you video game nerdies out there, I kind of do an e-fed with the wrestling game, and I did create a Gary on there, so you guys can go to TTC Wrestling, see an animated version of Gary kicking ass in the ring along with an animated version of her. So there you go.
Except the version of me doesn't really look that much like me. So.
Oh yeah, I have to check that on my PC because I just couldn't open it on my phone. So yeah, I'll totally check out that. Need to see myself there. Gary.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much again, Jerry, for talking to us today.
Thank you, guys, and thank you to everybody in the comments: Diego, Sunrising, Gun Hollow Media, Sean. And yeah, thank you. Until next time, guys, with Gary Reviews. And of course, please check out my friend Kevin's Point of View channel, Kevin's Point of View, and his lovely wife, Mel. And that's it, guys. Till next time with Gary G Reviews.
Thank you.